We're joined by a legend from the doors. He stood toe-to-toe with Lenny McLean.
The taste is still in my mouth. It's still in the veins. It's still in the heart for John Fury. John accepted the fight, the challenge. It was rolling on for about 2-3 weeks. Then he were all funny with me. Started getting aggressive. And he went a bit quiet for a while, up and down for the last 3-4 years. The only incident we had was that idiot that worked in Ministry Sound at Carlton Leach. Carlton, if you listen to this, I'm still here, mate. All the bull you come out with.
So what would he do? He'd actually hit you, then he'd grab hold of you and he'd be like... Wah.
Yeah. He'd bite you around the neck or bite your ear off or something, yeah. Guy died, didn't he? And Lenny went away for it. Only for a nurse that witnessed the police throwing him head first. That saved Lenny from the murder charge. Scott got the part, obviously, one of the main parts in that, with a fight with Brad Pitt. And we said, shoot down there, they're looking for someone else. In the end, I went down there. I got the part. People say, well, would you do it again? Well, yeah, I would. I know the game inside out. I know how to run a club. I know everything about a club. That gypsy guy nutted him. He just went mad. Told his head, he's bang, 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 bang. So have you got any problems? Get hold of me and we'll have a meet. In fact, we'll meet in a ring, even better.
Yeah, might as well get paid for it. Welcome back to the Criminal Connection podcast, and this episode is proudly brought to you by Betovo. Before we get stuck into this week's episode, we're going to give a big shout out to our sponsors. You're probably wondering how the Podfather brings you the best true crime podcast every week without fail, with great energy. Well, here's the thing. To bring that energy, I have to feel my best and be at my best. And that's where Hype Energy drinks come in with their powerful blend of vitamins, taurine and caffeine. Hype Energy gives me that extra edge to stay sharp and focused in every interview. It's not just about the buzz. It's about clarity, alertness and bringing my A game to every conversation. Now, Hype Energy isn't your average fuel. We're talking flavours like explosive cherry, red berry buzz, and even mojito, mint and lime. No weird aftertaste, just bold and refreshing flavour. No wonder they've won an award for taste, right? And if you're all about the zero sugar life, make sure you check out the watermelon and cheesecake flavours. All the flavour with none of the guilt. Yeah, I know, cheesecake in a can sounds mad, right? But trust me, it'll blow your mind. Now, the marketing team at Hype Energy keep telling me that MFP stands for more friggin' power. Now, I've told them it's not about that, it's about more friggin' Podfather. Know what I mean? And lucky for you lot, if you want to try it out, go to the checkout and type in Podfather in the offer code and get 20% off. Not only that, if you use this exclusive code, you'll be entered into a competition prize draw where you'll be in with a chance to win a Hype goodie bag signed by yours truly. And 5 lucky winners will get a 3-month supply of Hype. So let's get into it. The Podfather is officially powered by Hype Energy drinks, because when you feel your best, you rate your best. Introducing a proper raw men's fashion brand that has untamed energy inspired by relentless warriors while remaining cheeky and rebellious. Simian Saboteur is not just about style. This brand is a movement and a rebellion against the ordinary. This clothing is crafted for those that face life head on. Our new collection fuses classic design with modern edge. If you want to express your true warrior identity, strength and boldness, then join our tribe of real modern men. Explore our collection of casual wear, active gear and statement pieces that are as unique as you are. Our new collection is now live, and as a special treat for our Criminal Connection podcast crew, use this fantastic discount code BANANA5 on the checkout for an exclusive 5% discount off your first order. Visit www.simiansaboteur.com. Check them out in the link below. So if you'd like to find out about any of our fabulous sponsors, make sure you check out the links in the description below. Welcome back to the Criminal Connection podcast. My name's Terry Stone, and today we're joined by a legend from the doors. He stood toe-to-toe with Lenny McLean on many occasions. He was a British bodybuilding champion, and he's also been a fighter. I mean, he's been around a fight game forever. He used to stay in the gym for hours on end, beating up unlicensed fighters. So I want you all to put your hands together for Mr. Micky Theo's in the house. Woohoo!
Well said, Till.
I thought you should say it's easy for me to say because it's me before he goes. So, is there anybody you want to fight now?
Well, that's a bit blunt, isn't it?
No, I just thought there might be somebody that with obviously you being on the door for so long and obviously doing all your training and
we're meant to be stopping people from fighting. We do the opposite.
But is there anybody like because I know before we actually get into talking about your sort of life and how you got into what you got into, was there you know, or is there now sort of somebody because I saw obviously all the stuff with you and John Fury where you had this sort of like online beef. Was that started by him or for you, or what sort of caused that?
I called him out in 2019. I was the first one to call him out. I think his manager Spencer Brown started ringing around everyone, finding out the coup about me. Can I fight? Can I have it?
Right.
Yeah, but have you seen him fight? All these stories I'm hearing from personal friends of mine.
Right.
And they said, well, yeah, he can do. And so then I get a phone call from Spencer. And he says, I can't believe my phone ain't stopped. Bing, ding, 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 ding. All these texts. He said, unbelievable. I've never seen it before. So I said, yeah. So he goes, look, John will fight you, but, you know, there's got to be money there. And I've done it for a good cause, a pandemic.
Right, yeah.
At the time of the coronavirus.
Right.
So I said, listen, get the fight on. You know, there's loads of money to be earned there. And probably we can nick a few quid as well.
Right.
And it all started like that.
Right.
And John accepted the fight, the challenge, shall I say. And it was rolling on for about 2-3 weeks. Then he were all funny of me. He started getting aggressive and started, you know, being completely out of the ordinary, you know.
Right.
So it went a bit quiet for a while, and then it sort of come back on. Then it went back out, and then it went really quiet with him.
Right.
And it was like that up and down for the last 3-4 years, you know.
But that's the only reason I asked you if there's anybody you wanted to fight, because I obviously saw that, and obviously this sort of I hate to use the word celebrity boxing, but you've got this situation now where you've got sort of dormant, you've got amateur boxers, you've got celebrities, you've got musicians. They're all fighting each other.
Going on now, ain't you? Yeah, it's crazy,
and it's proper money as well.
That's why it's happening, because it's all about the money.
I mean, it must be sickening if you're a professional fighter and you're getting paid like $1,000 or something.
Because you're not going for you've got to go for the rankings. Here you go straight in for the mill or whatever it's going to be, you know. So everyone's going to go for that, isn't it?
Yeah,
Everyone wants a shortcut, and that's how it's become. Yeah, unfortunately, or shall I say, fortunately?
Yeah, fortunately. You know? Yeah. But do you reckon you will get it on with somebody? Because I'd like to see that, Mick. I'd like to see
the taste is still in my mouth. Right. It's still in the veins. It's still in the heart for John Fury. You know, and I believe it could still happen. We've got something coming up in the near future. Right. I'll keep it quiet till then. Okay. But hopefully we can get it on and, you know, shake hands after and have like he says, have a drink, have a pint. I don't even really drink beer, but I'll have a pint with him.
Right.
You know, but listen, it's all, you know, is there any malice? No, there's no malice there. It's all about challenging him. He gets the ump about it. And, you know, don't get the ump. You're a fighter. I'm not a fighter. You're the main man who's fighter. You know, you're saying he hasn't lost any fight. Hundreds of fights he's had. He ain't had one fight.
See, when you said the reason I wanted to find out who instigated the fight was because I thought he might have seen you in Snatch, and then thought actually I'm going to fight him. You know what I mean?
Right, so I was fucking nated off somewhere. Yeah, maybe.
That was a good movie. That was a good movie. How did that come about, Mick?
Well, Scott Welsh was the main guy fighting Brad Pitt, wasn't he? He's the one that punched him up in the air.
He's a good pal of mine, Scott. I love
Scott. Me and Scott used to train together.
Well, I didn't know that.
I was a lot bigger back in the day, you know, and I met Scott in the bodybuilding gym. He used to do a bit of weights. And he said to me, do you mind training me? And I said, of course I will, you know. And then we started training in Chingford, in the gym over there. And then I got into the boxing. I was already into the boxing at that time. So then he said, you know, he'd do 3 or 4 rounds of pros and I'd jump in with him because I'm big and heavy. Yeah. He wanted to use me with my weight and just come charging at him and throwing, you know what I mean? Right. And I used to get up 6 in the morning, 5 in the morning, get him out of bed. And I hated running, but I used to get on the mountain bike behind him and like slag him right off. Go on, you he's going to do this. Go on, you fat pudding, blah, blah. But me and Scott are close, yeah. And I used to spar with Scott.
His boy's doing well, isn't he?
His boy's doing very well, Tommy. I knew Tommy was a kid. I was going around the house and Tommy was running around, you know.
Right.
Not in his nappies, but he'd come out of the nappies and, he's a good kid, Tommy.
So I met Scott. The first film I did was in 2003 called Hell to Pay. It wasn't a particularly great movie, but that I met him on that film set and we become mates from that. And I think he'd just done Snatch. So I think he'd just come off Snatch. and then he went on to that. And I remember watching Snatch and seeing him in it, and then going, "Oh, you were great in Snatch." And because I'm a big boxing fan, obviously I knew he was, you know, heavyweight boxer. And but last time I see him at a WBC thing recently, and he was with his boy Tommy, and he said he was doing really well. I think he's still undefeated, isn't he?
Tommy is, yeah. He's doing very well. He's getting there. He's getting slowly but surely, putting him in the right moves, the right people, and he'll get there. But yeah, Scott got the part, obviously, one of the main parts in Snatch, with the fighting with Brad Pitt. And because I was close with him at the time, he said, shoot down there, they're looking for someone else, go and do some casting and that. So I can't bother. In the end, I went down there and I got the part, How
fun is that? That must have been cool for you, though, because that was one of the probably biggest British gangster films of the 2000s. So to actually popping up in it, were you people ringing up, Mick, I just see you in the movie?
A lot of people didn't even recognise me, I've only put that, I think, on Liam's podcast. Right. I think there was a picture on it.
Right.
But then I got the texts. We didn't know it was you, But yeah, it was a little part. It was all right, Yeah. But yeah, it's fun. It's fun. But you do it yourself.
Yeah.
You meet different people. Chit chatting about, and it's a nice day to be with that sort of environment.
Yeah. So obviously we talked about the present, but if we obviously rewind and go back to where you were born, Mick. Whereabouts was you born in? Was you born in London or?
Yeah, Paddington, believe it or not. Right in the centre of London. Yeah,
right.
Paddington.
And your parents were they? Where were they from? Were they?
Dad was Greek Cypriot. Mum was Irish. Right. And we brought up in a place just off the edge of the road, Cricklewood, that ran that area.
Yeah,
small place back in the day.
I wanted to go to Hollywood, but I've been to Cricklewood.
Oh, well, there you go. You got it all there.
And what was it like growing up there, as a kid? Was
Yeah, it was all right. Kids do what we do it when we're young, it was all right. Had good parents, good family, always food on the table, brought up right,
Yeah.
It was all right, basically, yeah.
And what did you, and from there, I mean, was you like an academic at school, or
not really?
Right.
I didn't really like school too much. I was just mad for sports. I was a great soccer player back in the day. I didn't like English or German or any French. I'd done a bit, but mathematics and all that. No, I wasn't academically. You loved the. I just liked the sports. That was it. I was a great soccer player up until 15 years of age when I started pumping some weights and. Didn't look at another football, and I still don't look at another football.
Wow.
When I focus on something, I go straight in, not 100%, 1,000,000%, and done it all my life. And
with the bodybuilding stuff, was it just for the love of the weights, or did you because a lot of people, probably around that era, it was. I mean, Schwarzenegger was the poster boy, wasn't he?
He was the main man back in the day. Yeah, everyone would look up to him because he was. Like the governor, basically, of that game or that era. And
he was. Did you literally say, "I want to look like that"? Because back in the day, the bodybuilders used to be fairly small, but then I think he took it to a different level, didn't he? I mean,
yeah, back in the era, what he was, people look up to him. But if you look at him now compared to what he's looking at, physically, and the different types of juice and whatever they're taking nowadays and growth hormones, it's become a different era, different league, another probably a tenfold of what Arnold used to be.
Do you think he did it without any help, or do you think
No, Arnold was on the juice, obviously.
I was going to say, because
because
I've trained and I can never look like
that. Listen, it's not about taking steroids and you're going to grow. Yeah, you will put on. If you didn't train, you took steroids, you put on loads of probably water retention and you'd get stronger, but you wouldn't have no shape to you.
Right.
You'd have to work hard in the gym, and it's hard work, dedication, not just about the gear. I trained probably for 4 years, 15 to about 20, 21, then I started taking gear.
Wow.
I was getting good and strong naturally. So you're building your own foundation before you take that step. It's like building a house without no foundation, it's going to drop.
Right.
Yeah? So basically, training with no foundations, you whatever weight you put on with the gear, and to come off the gear, you got nothing. It's like building a house with no foundation; the house will drop. Yeah, build a foundation, then you start putting house on top. It'll stay, and you'll grow on top of that.
when you actually got into it and you were doing it like properly, what would a normal training day be like? Would it literally be, would you be in there like 2 or 3 hours a time, 2 or 3 times a day?
When I started, I didn't have a clue on how to train, what to train, and what weight to train. So I went in the gym and trained 4 hours a day, every day, 7 days a week, which is wrong.
Right.
Overtraining, your body don't have time to slow, to relax and recover. But when you train basically, you're pumping blood into the muscle, yeah? Right. And then that's your maximum. Once you get the blood flow into the muscle and it's pumped, like your chest sticking out, your arms are pumped up, that's it, leave it, rest it. And then it's got to recover, regain again, and you do the same again.
Did you have a bit of spinach like Popeye? Which is
well, to be honest, I probably was taking every supplement that was out there back in the day. I weren't taking gear at the time.
Yeah.
And I got to a good level, and people was telling me the only real way I knew how to train properly was changed in gyms and learning. Wherever gym I went, I was learning.
So did you like bounce around, or did you have a gym that you just...
No, I didn't go to too many gyms. I went to 2 or 3 gyms, and then you start learning things. And you shouldn't train a whole body part in one day. Right. Train like a chest and triceps or back and biceps another day, and then legs separate. Right. So it gives it time, break your groups down, and it gives it time to relax and recover, recuperate, and grow.
Did you ever bump into Ian Woodley?
Oh, Ian's a good friend of mine for years.
Yeah, because I know he was big on that as well.
Yeah, Ian was quite good at, when I was in it anyway. He was I think he was, I don't know what he was.
Did he go into
world champion or something?
He actually went into he
was competing. Yeah,
Wow.
He was competing back in the day. He had a great shape on him. I ain't seen him for a long time, but he's still doing it.
You ever want to see him?
I've seen him on social media.
He's always in either Sheesh Mayfair or in Chigwell. Yeah, he works. He runs the door for Dylan. So
does he?
Yeah.
Really?
And literally...
Or in London or the other one?
Both. I saw him at the one in Chigwell, but then I was in Mayfair the other week and I see him. Okay. And it was actually quite funny because I was in IB with him, and there's a picture with me, him, and I think his girlfriend at the time. I don't know if he's still with the same girl. And for some reason, she'd asked me to hold the bag.
No, Andrew, was it?
There with a handbag. And it looked like me and him were out on a date. It looked quite funny.
Right.
But he kept that. And
was
I said,
it Andrewla?
Do you know what? I don't know.
Greek girl?
Do you know what? It was so long ago.
Right.
So, but, and also, I think I was probably, I was in my 20s then. You know what I mean? And he must have been in his...
Oh, you're going back in the day now?
Yeah, like yeah.
But he's on the shisha now?
Yeah, he's in shisha now.
You shocked me there because he's never done doors before.
Yeah.
No, I don't remember record him doing doors before.
Yeah.
And he's not that type of guy. He's, he talks like that, doesn't he? He's a very polite guy and he's a gentleman.
I think that's why he does it. I don't think... the clientele, it's mainly like celebs and I think they wanted someone who looked big, that's polite and friendly on the door.
Yeah, he's a gentleman.
Yeah, but Ian Woodley's great. He's great.
Is, right. Ian Woodley.
Ian Woodley.
I thought you said Ian Dowell, didn't you?
No, sorry, Ian Woodley. Yeah, I'm talking about Woodley. Sorry, mate.
Oh, Ian, yeah. Me and Ian go back. Yeah, we compete with each other.
Right.
Yeah.
What did he get
I'm talking about Ian Dowell then.
Oh, no, sorry.
I think you said Ian Dowell, didn't you?
No, I definitely said Woodley.
I'll get me marbles, Mick. Sorry. I'll take that back.
Did he ever win any titles, or was he?
I think he must have won because you had to win a show to get into the British Championship. So
right.
That was the way of getting in. You got to win the show, an area show, to become into the Mr. UK.
And what sort of got you from training and wanting to do it to then actually saying I'm going to compete and I'm going to become a champion?
I just love the sport so much, and people were saying, you got the body, go for it, you should compete in. Well, how many shows you've done on this and that? I said, well, I haven't. He said, well, then it sort of put the thought into my head,
right? And
that's what made me do it. Really.
How long did it take you from when you started to actually win that British title?
I won the novice Britishes probably about 2-3 years before that.
Right.
It was like a learning thing for me at the time.
Right.
Won a title that took me to the novice British, won the novice British, then I went to the Mr. And then I won the Mr. Mr. EFBB UK, that's what they called it. Right. It took me, when I started training, till I think I was 28. So started training at 15 and won it when I was about 28.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And did you start doing the door at the same time, or did that come after?
I was doing doors when I was 16.
Wow.
Believe it or not. In fact, the guy I was working for, a Greek guy, there was a club in Hendon called Mentorship back in the day.
Right.
And funny enough, he only passed away a couple of days ago. My old boss, you know,
Right.
age of 16. I was working there with Dickie Bow. You know, I was getting a bit bigger. Right. So job on the door, Dickie Bow, you know, in there with like a dinner suit on. And
because that was the old uniform for the doorman. It was back time, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's how it was. And I started when I was 16, obviously, because I was doing a bit of training. And I think a lot of guys that do weights, they end up doing door work.
Right.
You know, and then it's from door work to debts to this to that.
I mean, back then, obviously, the door was very different to how it is now. I mean, you know, you had to be out of fight then, didn't you? So was you fighting when you was a kid? Was you?
Well, you say that, but there's a lot of people that over the years that can't fight. You know, they've got the size, but they can't fight.
Yeah.
You know, because they've got, you know, wide shoulders and sticking their chest out. They look good, but a lot of them can't fight. But kicks off and they're in the toilet somewhere. You know what I mean?
But a lot of the doormen back then, now I'm not so sure. But back
in the day, if you was a doorman, you were a face. Someone would know you. You know, in the area, wherever they know you know you are the part, and that's what you're there for.
Yeah.
But there were a lot of people out there that couldn't hold their hands up.
Right.
You know, and it's embarrassing, and you know, and it's really you got someone that's letting the team down because they can't fight.
Right.
You know, it's dangerous, really, isn't it?
And when did you? I mean, obviously, you went through doing the doors, and you was competing and doing. When did you actually first put a pair of gloves on?
Probably early 90s when I met up with Lenny. Went down to Cannon Palace. He took me under his wing, and I started training then. And they were bringing out a low budget film about the governor. As you know, it's been released many years after with Jamie, his son. And he said to me, you know, I'm doing this film, you know, do you want to invest a bit of money? And we was getting really close at the time.
Right.
I said to him, then I'll put a score in, but I want to be main part or something. He goes, all right, then we could put you in as one of the fighters. That's how we started sparring together.
Right, wicked.
Back in the day, you know.
And lots of people, you know, I mean, I only met Lenny once, and what shocked me about him was how fucking big he was. His head was, it was just a big guy,
He was a big
wasn't
man. Yeah, he was a very
guy.
big man, you know, and powerful man.
Yeah.
He was a great guy if you knew him. A lot of people said he was a bully, but you know, he'd only bully you. We'll say bully. He wouldn't bully you. He'd give it to you if he was out of order. Yeah, and that's how it was. That's what he's trying to do.
Right.
You know, that's what he's come from.
Right.
Yeah, that's how it is.
Yeah. And what was I mean, working at Camden Palace? I mean, I remember going there in the early 90s. I think it was called Orange, wasn't it? And it was.
You know, I don't remember it then.
Right.
I just remember it was Cannon Palace.
Right.
Yeah.
But it was, I think that was the promoter that was doing it.
Right.
And it was, obviously that's when all the sort of, it was sort of like somebody had like lit a fire, and it was like rave music just exploded everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone was taking drugs, everyone was going out. I mean, it was a mad time.
It was.
I mean, you must have seen some crazy shit at Camden Palace.
Oh, yeah. You see it all. You see it all. Wherever you work, you see it all, you know.
I mean, because most of the people in there were sort of out of their heads, weren't they? So did you ever have any problems with any of them, or was it mainly the...
Never, because they're out of their head. They're in their own little bubble, hands going everywhere, just drinking water. You know, they're not intoxicated. They're intoxicated on drugs.
The worst thing would happen, they'd probably cuddle you, wouldn't they?
Yeah. Which was nice. Yeah. It was nice because, you know, you're going to have a nice relaxing day. You know, you got all these people jumping up and down. Hands are going everywhere, legs are going everywhere, and you think they're on another planet, you know. Yeah. And what they're taking, probably LSD and all sorts are going on, you know.
Yeah.
And seeing all images and monsters in their heads or whatever, you know. I don't know. It was. Listen, it's a phase. It was early 90s, when late 80s, early 90s. It sort of came in.
Yeah.
And it was just a completely different club scene, wasn't it? As you know. Used to do it.
If you had any ag in there, was it with the dealers or was it with just locals, or was it just...
We never really had problems with dealers. We just throw them out, you know, if we knew they were dealing. That was it, really. Punters, not a problem. They were just, like I say, spaced out.
Right, okay.
Yeah, they were happy.
So you didn't have any actual issues at Camden Palace then? You didn't have...
No, not really.
Right, okay.
No.
You said earlier about you obviously went from doing door work to doing the debt collecting and stuff like that. Was that via Lenny? Because...
Yeah, I mean, I was doing it before. Listen, when you get to a certain stage in your life, in that game, other things start popping up, you know what I mean? Oh, I got that, can you help me out? You know what I mean? Because you're a big light, you can have it, and it gets thrown at you, basically, you know? And so it was a way of increasing our wages.
Right, okay.
So, yeah, it was all right, you know?
So what did you do? To charge them a commission, or was it sort of like...
Yeah, whatever it was, we wanted to take it out of it. We tell them how it is, because they've lost their money anyway.
Right.
So whatever we recovered back for them, they was happy.
Right, okay.
You know?
What was the biggest debt you collected?
100 grand,
Right,
150 grand back in the day.
And was that an easy one? You just knocked on the door? Did you have to hang people out the window?
If you've got Lenny behind you and Lenny's growling on the phone, frothing from the mouth,
right,
it's done.
Right, okay.
You know, it's so easy. It was just, you know, he mentioned his name, he got up and growled at you on the phone, you know. It was done. It was just so easy with him, you know. A lot of people, well, other people you dealt with, some things weren't so easy, but you know, you just got to sit them down and say, look, this is what's owed, this is the paperwork, you know, have the paperwork, it's better.
Right.
You know, otherwise demanding money, and this is all that.
Right, okay.
Try and do things right and correct in life, you know.
So that was the way to do it. Make sure you had the paperwork.
Well, if you've got paperwork, it's a lot easier, isn't it?
Right, yeah. And then how long was you on the door at Camden Palace for before you went to Hippodrome? Or was you bouncing between both?
No, I was at the Camden Palace for about 3 years. Then we went to Hippodrome after,
right,
for a couple of years. And
when you was at the Hippodrome, because I remember there was an incident there where, did somebody get their back broken? There was a guy.
The guy died, didn't he? And Lenny went away for it.
Right, okay.
Yeah, they blamed Lenny for it.
Was that the same guy that had his back broken, or was it?
I don't know about his back broken. Well, I don't know. He died, didn't he?
Right, okay.
Yeah, he come out of a mental home from Manchester, ended up in London. He got through out of the Hippodrome where we was working, and apparently walked down Tottenham Court Road. There's another club down there where the big rave place was on the corner.
Oh, the Astoria.
Astoria.
Yeah.
And only for a nurse that witnessed police throwing him head first into the back of the old vans back in the day,
right,
that saved Lenny from a murder charge.
Wow.
And he just got done for manslaughter.
So even though Lenny didn't do anything,
no, and he was jumping on cars, pissing on cars, everything. This guy was.
Wow.
He wasn't all there mentally, you know.
Right.
And they shouldn't really let him out, you know, in that state. But things happened, you know.
Wow.
But he's still done 18 months on remand.
But then, because the bystander had seen what had happened.
Yeah, a nurse. A nurse was there as a witness, and that really saved him, you know.
Wow.
Because I think because of who he was, the name, and his background, I think they just wanted him banged up.
Yeah, because he got shot as well, didn't he?
He got shot on the doors, yeah, just before I knew him, he got shot.
Right.
Yeah, in the arse.
I remember that.
Yeah. So...
Was it an air pistol? It wasn't a real gun, was it?
Apparently it was a shotgun, I heard.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, because maybe I'm getting
shotgun
muddled
just
up.
fires a loads of little lead balls
Right.
anyway, doesn't it? It's not like a bullet going through you.
Right.
But it'd probably do enough damage to just, you know...
Yeah. You wouldn't be sitting
wake
down.
you up.
But he was, I mean, I as I said, I only met Lenny once, but anybody who knew of him, he was a formidable character, and he definitely wouldn't be somebody you want to upset.
I've been in his crowd of people, well, just inside the Hippodrome on the left, there was an office. There's about 4 or 5 people in there, and this one guy come, I knew of him, and he sat down, and he's a right straight goer. He said, yeah, Len, I got out of the car and I fucking give it to this guy verbally. And then he's going, get him out of here. He said, get him out of here now. And he wanted to wallet him, you know, get him out. He's talking shit to geezer. Why does someone like that want to talk like that for? That's how he looks at it.
Maybe for
I don't blame him, you know, because he's trying to do anything. He's like a fucking, like, how can I put it? You know, a proper straight goer, you know, talking shit. Basically, that's how he puts it.
Right, okay.
You know?
Did you? Because Craig Fairbrass told me he worked on the door as well with Lenny.
I don't remember Craig on the door.
Right.
I remember Craig back in the day because he was going to play the main Lenny in the movies.
Because he said that, didn't he?
And I think at the time he was doing Cliffhanger, wasn't he?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Right.
It never happened.
Right. Okay.
Obviously.
I mean, it's a shame because that film, I think at that time when Lenny sort of went into, he was obviously in Lock, Stock, wasn't he? I like that scene where the guy PH Moriarty beat him over the guy over the head with a dildo. Remember that?
Oh yeah, it's funny, wasn't it?
But he was great in that, and then he got that show, didn't he? The Knock. I think at that point, if somebody had made a Lenny McLean movie, it would have been amazing. But
they were trying to.
Yeah, but I don't know why. I don't know why.
I was driving him to Pinewood 3 times a week.
Wow.
You know, he ain't driving.
Right.
You know, he should ring me up. We're going Pinewood today. It's all right. See you about 12. All right, then. Pull up, drive him down there, drive him back. You know, Pinewood was going on for a long time. You know, trying to raise the money, trying to get the movie up and running. We just never got there. You know, That's the thing that I think he wanted to do before he passed.
Did you? Because he died of cancer, didn't he?
Yeah.
Did you spend a lot of time with him then?
All the time, yeah. We was together quite a bit, right up to the time when he passed, really.
Yeah.
You know, he was walking around with a bit of a stick at one stage as well, right at late stages.
Right.
We used to go and eat a lot, and, you know, he loved his food, and if he wanted to go anywhere, I'd take him, you know what I mean?
And when
just got into the film world, just got his new house.
I mean, it was just going, wasn't it, for him?
And, everything was going great for him, and then it took a downturn, you know? Yeah. And was it? He didn't beat it, did he? He got it, and then he got
just
it.
Went.
Yeah, he was having a bit of treatment, but then, you know, time's time. You know, you either beat it or you don't, or he beats you.
So when you was working with him at Hippodrome, what happened after that? Did you then all sort of sprint off and do other bits and pieces, or?
Can't remember what I was doing. I think at that time when we left there, he wasn't doing too much. I think he went to Cairo's in the West End,
right?
A wine bar. He was doing that. I was doing something else.
That must have been nice and peaceful.
Oh no, I have my own bar down in Walthamstow called Bentley's.
Right.
We had that for 2, 3, 4 years. He used to come down every now and then, he was in Cairo's. I just go up and see him during the week.
Right.
We just kept in touch. Still went out to see him. Done a bit of training together. Still up until when he couldn't, you know, and he was like getting a bit sort of tired and that.
And then when you was doing you sort of went off and did your own stuff. Where was you working mainly on the doors?
Well, so I'd done my own stuff. I got my own clubs then. I had wine bars, a couple of wine bars, one called Harley's. I had Bentley's, come out of Bentley's, sold it, went up to Harley's in Barnet, and then we went down to the Club KO in Wood Green.
Right, okay.
That was going for about 15 years. That was a nightclub, 800 people. That was a big place.
You must have some funny stories from there.
Major stories, yeah. But thing is, I had 15 security there, and I'm upstairs in the office. Got a manager in the evening, a manager in the day. Any bit of trouble at all, gosh, I was down I was on top of the club in the office.
Did you have one of them little?
I needed a hatch. I needed one of them, really. I tell you, I was down the stairs on the front line, and my manager said, "What are you doing? You've got 15 doormen work for you." But when it's your club, it's even more. You know, you want to know who's causing the problems, and you know, you just take it to heart. It's your place. You want to know what who's doing this and who's doing that, and it's instead of sitting back and saying, you know what, you can get on with it, the security.
Right.
And I just couldn't.
But also, it's difficult because it's like we had a bar and restaurant, and I had a similar thing where, we had we had a thing with the council where they said, "Oh, you got to keep the doors shut." The music and all this bollocks, and then people would then open the doors and prop the doors open. Then I brought up and pulled the doors and keep the doors fucking shut. My missus would be like, "You can't speak to people like that," and I said, "But it's a fucking license.
Yeah, you lose it.
You take it to heart." Don't you?
Well, we lost our license back in the day because there's new legislation out about glasses going to plastic.
Right.
And my barman said to me, like, Mr. Mick used to call me. He said, we need to change these glasses and get some plastic ones. That's what council told us, new legislations. I said, how much are they? He goes, about $3,000. I said, don't worry about it. About 2 weeks later, they came in. They always used to pop in anyway with one police, look at the place, check the exits, all that crap that they're meant to do. And they said, you're still doing glasses, we'll have to ask you to close the club, And then we went to a meeting with the court, with the council and the police, and basically said, "I'm sorry, we're refusing to give you a license." I said, "Hang about it. You're just putting 30 people out of unemployment.
Wow.
You have to pay their wages now, not me. Do you want that?
Right.
I don't care.
Wow.
I don't care. I've done it twice to me. The club bar we had before done the same thing. all right, we were staying over time a little bit, but, you know, I understand that bit, but, you know, with the glasses. But we had glasses that if you broke, they would shatter. They weren't thin glasses, them big chunky ones, you know.
Right.
But you can't serve plastic with champagne, can't you? You think, what's this? Get it away. I don't want it. You refuse it, wouldn't you?
And I think that's the problem. It's the red tape and the practicalities go out the window, don't they? I mean, you know.
They don't want clubs.
No.
That's why there ain't no more clubs around.
Well, I noticed that, like, when the...
they just can't bother. They don't want the trouble. They don't want headache.
Well, they changed that law, didn't they, where if somebody was found with drugs on premises, they could strip your licence. And I think that, you know, how can you prevent somebody bringing drugs into your club? You can't, can you? I mean, if they're going to bring it in, they're going to bring it in. And if you just happen to be unlucky that they nick them on that day.
We had metal detectors, you got to walk through, you know, packed down, everything. People want to get it, stick it in their mouth, they stick it anywhere, can't they? You can't search everywhere.
And over the years, Mick, when you were doing the doors, what would you say was the sort of worst sort of violence you've seen?
It was over in South London on a few raves.
Right.
But these raves were like, people were mad to get into these raves. And
one of them wasn't at the Adrenaline Village, was it, in Chelsea?
No.
Right. So I remember that.
I'm talking about police cars on the roofs of the car, you know, turned over. Big wooden doors were trying to keep shut, and they're trying to pull it, and then CS gases, knives going through the doors. You know, I actually got blasted in the face with CS gas, and it's not nice because you can't see. And you know the knives are trying to come through the door with knives.
Right.
So there was a little square hatch. I just dived through there. I didn't think I was going to fit through there, but I made sure I did. You know, grab the girl, give him some water, and just, you know, reach your eyes out just to see.
Right.
It become a bit fruity, a bit dangerous sometimes, you know, but touch wood, it all went well, you know.
I don't know if it's so much in London, but definitely around the country.
It was all around the outskirts, wasn't it? This was all happening. Mad raves.
But there's definitely in Manchester, there was the certain firms that controlled the doors.
Hacienda and all that.
Yeah. Did you have much of that in London when you was doing stuff, or because obviously you was working with Lenny? I take it, you know, there was your group.
Yeah. Before that, I worked for a firm called Scorpion Security. And
I know Steve.
Yeah, Steve. Yeah, Steve's a good guy, you know. But when I first started working for them, you know, I was jumping from club to club to whatever, door to door. You know, he says, you know, ringing up Steve, complaining, I can't have him here. You know, he's fucking mad. You know. So Steve said, you know, you got to take it easy. You got to take it easy. You know, I mean, all that Steve said to me. I said, I ain't doing my job, Steve. He goes, yeah, but just relax a little bit. I said, what do you mean relax? Do what I do. You know what I mean? And yeah, it was like that with Steve until like then. Eventually, I got my own place and started doing my own thing.
Right.
Well, going with Lenny, then get my own clubs. And
did you ever set up your own security firm or not, or did you?
No, I wasn't really into that. To be honest with you, I didn't even. I've got loads of security and doorman if I need doorman. You know, I can make a call and get how many I want. You know, I've got some good boys still in the game if I need it.
Yeah.
But I do miss the club game. It was good, you know. It's just the thing I'd done all my life. It was part of my life.
Right.
That industry, you know. You know, people say, "Well, would you do it again?" Well, yeah, I would, because I know the game inside out. You know, I know how to run a club. I know everything about a club.
Right.
That's the way it is, you know.
And did you ever do anything at Ministry of Sound or anywhere like that?
No. At one stage we was meant to take it over. Lenny said, we're taking the Ministry of Sound. We're going to go and work up there, blah, blah, blah. But we never got to it in the end. Nothing happened for that. Yeah.
Right. I only did the Ministry once.
Worked up there?
Yeah.
On the door?
No, we did a rave there. We raved there on Christmas Day night.
I didn't think they'd done raves up there.
Yeah, they obviously the guy who owned it, it was mainly a sort of house venue, wasn't it? And then they started.
I think the guy who owned it was very well-to-do, wasn't he?
Lord Palumbo.
That's right. Yeah.
And they had all these different people coming in, doing different things. But it was interesting because when we went there, someone said, "Oh, why don't you do a rave Christmas Day night?" And I was like, "Are people really going to go out Christmas Day night?"
Yeah.
And they did. I mean, it was a couple of thousand people in there, but it was a bit mad.
Yeah.
Like, you know, people turning up there, and people not wanting to be searched.
Well,
everyone's got to be searched.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But no, it was a crazy venue. That was. I'm just trying to think. Because obviously there was that rivalry with Lenny and with Roy Shaw, wasn't there?
Yeah, back in the day.
Did you ever meet Roy?
Roy Shaw? Yeah, I see him all the time. Roy was, he ain't far from, he didn't live far from the gym we got at the moment, which was a KO gym, Bugger still. He used to be at Alan Mortlock shows all the time.
Yeah.
Alan Mortlock's a very good friend of mine. And he used to be there just presenting prizes and things like that, you know, in his late stages when he probably after he was retired from fighting. But Roy was all right, you know. Yeah. But he wasn't in the same level as Lenny. Lenny was completely different level, you know.
Because they had 2 fights, didn't they?
3 fights in total.
3 fights.
Yeah.
And did Lenny win 2 and he win 1 or something?
That's right, yeah.
Right, yeah, I remember seeing somebody had the original black and white footage.
Oh, right.
And I don't know, or it might have been really bad colour, you know, like back then. But
I
remember seeing it and it was, I mean, they went at it, didn't they?
I think the first time Lenny fought him, he didn't even train for it. He just got in and, you know.
Right.
But, and then the last 2, he just mullered him.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you think if Lenny had been a boxer, he'd have been, or did he always like the sort of unlicensed stuff?
I don't think he could be a boxer because he'd lose it, you know. He'd want to bite your ear off or you'd do a Tyson. I mean, Lenny used to do it anyway before, you know, before even Tyson done it, didn't he, in the ring. Right. You know, he'd bite you around the cheeks or whatever, or neck, or that's what he's like. He just.
So what would he do? He'd actually hit you, then he'd grab hold of you, and he'd be like, "Wah."
He'd bite you around the neck or bite your ear off or something. Yeah.
I mean, it just sounds crazy.
Well, look at that little footage in the ring when that gypsy guy nutted him. You know, he just went mad, didn't he? He was on the floor, he's holding his head, he's bang, 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 isn't he? Doing him, you know, he don't care.
Yeah.
He just, when he goes, he goes.
Right.
You know, if everyone comes near him, he would do them as well. That's how he was.
You obviously knew him well. I mean, did he ever like a deprived childhood, or did he just go into fighting? He's like fighting.
Well, did you see the movie about him? How he was brought up?
Yeah. I watched the film. I didn't watch the documentary, but I saw the film.
Yeah.
And it had a weird like Australian guy playing him, which
that's right. Yeah.
But I wasn't sure about. I thought Craig Fedros would have done a better.
Yeah.
But obviously maybe it's because he's too old now. But I don't know. But I remember watching the film. But it was. I'm trying to think. It must be 10 years ago.
Yeah, easy.
Maybe longer than that. Yeah.
He had a bit of a sort of rough upbringing as a kid. You know, he used to get beaten up by his old man, and then his stepfather done the same thing, and he got to an age, and that was it. You know, I think because of what happened to him as a child, which you know turned him out to be what he is, how he ended up.
Yeah.
You know, you wouldn't take no shit off no one,
right?
Because he had it when he was young. It's like anything in it. You bring something, you put someone in a private school, bring them up all proper, they're all prim and proper, speaking prim and proper, you know, like that. Put them in Tottenham or something, or some bad area, you know, they're going to be gunslingers or something, aren't they?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You know, that's
absolutely.
where you hang out, you know, who you mix is what you become with.
Yeah.
You know, you want to hang around with drug dealers, you become a drug dealer.
Right.
A barrister, you become a lawyer. You know, that's how it is, I believe.
Did you ever sort of come across did you ever have any issues with any firms or?
No.
Right.
No. The only incident we had was like with that idiot that worked in that Ministry of Sound at Carlton Leach.
I want to say a huge thanks to our sponsors, Fragrance du Bois. Now, for those of you that don't know about Fragrance du Bois, where have you been? It is one of the leading luxury fragrances, only available in Harrods, Selfridges and Neiman Marcus in New York. They've got so many different fragrances for men, for women. All of the fragrances are unisex, so make sure you get involved and sample the delights of Fragrance du Bois. For all the Criminal Connection podcast crew, we've got a special discount for you. 10% off. All you need to do when you click on the link below and choose your luxury fragrance is to put in CCPOD10 for the 10% discount.
You know?
What happened with him?
Well, he'd rung me up one day. I'm only saying this because of some video he brought out.
Right. He does like putting videos out.
He put a video out and someone was talking of what happened in the video, basically. Right. This guy does it all the time. So basically what he's saying, he rung me up on my mobile and said, I heard you and Lenny are coming down to take the Ministry Sound over. And I said to him straightforward, I said, well, did you speak to Lenny about this? He went, fuck him, he's an old man, I'm talking to you. I said, well, speak to Lenny first, then come back to me. He goes, no, fuck him, he's an old man, I'm talking to you. Why don't you tell him, I said to him. Yeah? Then he puts the phone down. Oh, sorry, before that, he says to me, I'm talking to you. I said, well, look, I'm down at the gym in Bodyworks. Come down and see me. Put the phone down on me. Second day I came in, his partner was there, Phil. And he said, "Can I work with you, Mick?" I said, "Yeah, what's up, Phil?" He said, "You know that thing you had a bit of grief with Carlton on the phone?" I said, "I haven't had grief with Carlton. He's the one ringing me up and giving it the fucking large. Calling in Lenny and old and this and that." He goes, "Can we just forget about it? Everyone knows everyone." I said, "I ain't got a problem, mate. He's the one with the problem. And if you still got a problem, I'm fucking here. There's no problem." Carlton, if you listen to this, I'm still here, mate. Yeah?
Maybe you could
all
have
the bullshit you come out with.
Maybe you could have a fight with him.
No,
Forget John Fury.
No problem.
That'd be good. That'd be a good one.
problem.
Mick Theory. So what you could do, you could Mick Theo versus Carlton Leach, and then if Carlton doesn't turn up, you can fight John Fury. So you could maybe have them both. You could have a trilogy of fights.
Listen, when someone dies, like Lenny has passed, God bless him, rest his soul.
Yeah.
When someone like Carlton Leach comes out with so much bollocks and shit, okay, that you rung me up and give it to me verbally, yeah, and I fucking sort of went off a bit, you know what I mean? Shit myself, as he wants to put it, yeah. Then he speaks to Lenny and gets Lenny working on the door, all that bollocks. Lenny called a meeting in Cairo's in the West End and called everyone up there, yeah, because of what he said. Not one person turned up.
Right.
Yeah, not one person turned up. That's the strength of them.
I think speak.
Sorry, I'll rephrase that. Strength of Carlton.
Right.
Yeah. No fucking arsehole.
I think when you pick the phone up though,
So Carlton, don't talk behind people's back, especially when they're not here with us today. Yeah.
Because I think that's the thing. It's very easy to say stuff on the phone, but like Lenny, come and have a fucking sit down.
And it's so easy to say, tell them porky pies when someone's passed away as well.
Right.
Yeah, because they think they can. But I'm still here, mate. I ain't fucking died.
Right.
Yeah. Come and talk to me. You got a problem.
KO Jim.
Fucking whatever you want, mate. You know what I mean?
Right.
Talk about my pal who's passed away.
Yeah.
Yeah. A proper guy that'll fucking knock you flying, mate, with one finger.
Yeah. No, he was.
Sorry I had to get it out because I just feel it, you know.
No, listen, mate.
Bollocks that people come out in this world.
I think the problem is like with when you talk to lots of different people, like you said, they can say stuff and they can twist the truth.
Well, back it up, innit? Come on, back it up.
They can twist the truth. And you know, I mean, I met Carlton probably, just trying to think, 2003, 2004. Just as I was coming out of the club scene, and he approached me because he'd written a book, and that's how that Rise of the Foot Soldier thing started from that book. But obviously, a lot of the stuff that he said happened. Obviously,
bollocks. I've seen comments about what people say about him. It's come from Carlton. It's bollocks. It's all bollocks. All lies. It's all this. It's all that. You know?
Right. But obviously,
I don't really know the guy.
No,
I don't have any grief with anyone. But don't talk about people when they're passed away that you can think get away with it. You know.
Yeah. I mean, it's disrespectful.
And don't talk about me.
Right.
Because you never you shit yourself probably to come and see me because you know what'll happen to you. Do you know what I mean? That's straight from my mouth. Right. Horse's mouth.
Yeah.
I'm still here, mate. You know what I mean? So if you've got any problems, get hold of me, get hold of someone, and we'll have a meet. It's not a problem. In fact, we'll meet in a ring, even better.
Yeah, you might as well get paid for it.
Yeah. I'll do it for nothing. I'll do it for Lenny. Be a pleasure.
Obviously talking about Carlton, did you ever bump into Tony Tucker, Pat Tate, Craig Rolfe, those guys?
I don't know any of them.
Yeah, I never. Do you know so? When I was doing the clubs, I never.
Obviously, they're in a different game, aren't they?
Yeah, they was in Essex, weren't they? And I know they used to pop into the West End to Legends, and obviously Nigel Benn was DJing, and they'd be with him. Yeah. But
listen, that time I was on the doors everywhere, but I never bumped into them. I never met them. I knew Nigel obviously from the boxing of him, but
he was a great fighter, wasn't he? He was a great fighter.
Yeah, he was. He was amazing.
I used to love,
he was a proper rower, proper scrapper, wasn't he? If he can keep coming and digging and digging, I'm going to fuck it. That's how it should be.
Yeah.
That's a proper, boxer. You don't see them anymore.
When you look at boxing now, mate, who are your favourite fighters right now?
Favourite fight was, Tyson's always been my best.
Yeah, he's great.
Great. All right, he's retired, but even now, if he was to get in the ring, I'd want to watch it, you know what I mean? I mean, he's still got it.
He was fearsome, wasn't he? Like back in the days.
Like you said, people, he'd won before he went in the ring, Yeah. Just the thought, who's coming at you.
I mean, he did look, when you used to watch him walk in the ring, he was terrifying, wasn't he?
He knew what he was going to do, and he done it. He just fucking walked through people, because he had that hunger from, it's the upbringing again.
Yeah.
How he was brought up in life. He was on the streets with gangs. He had no money. He had no food and family. And that's what made Tyson to what he was today.
Do you read much, Mick?
No, I hate reading. That's the only thing I don't really do is read. Unless I got to read it, I'll read it.
Because someone bought me a book. Mike Tyson done an autobiography, 400 pages, right? And when you look at it, you go, fucking hell, that's a long read.
Yeah.
But I got through it really quickly. And I've got to say, out of all the books I've read, that was probably the most, it hit you right there because you felt for him.
What
do you
he
know
went through.
He went through all that fucking shit. He didn't have a mum and dad really.
No.
When he did get that father figure, he died, and then it's sort of, he was like in this abyss. But I think for 3 or 4 years when that fella died, he was partying, he was drinking, he was taking drugs, he was having a great time, but he was just still knocking people out. So you imagine if he hadn't have had those distractions, he'd have probably gone out as
mate.
the best of all time.
Oh yeah,
yeah, he was.
I still class him as the best of all times, personally. People all said to me, "Who do you think's better, Muhammad Ali or Mike Tyson?" I swung about. Muhammad Ali went 15 rounds before we knock him out. Mike Tyson did it in the first 1 or 2 rounds. Yeah. So it's got to be Mike Tyson in my
when he was in his prime, I don't know if you remember this, Mick, but I'm sure you do, being a Tyson fan. But he fought, he was fighting people, and they're going, he's going to come unstuck fighting Trevor Burbick, he's going to come unstuck fighting Larry Holmes, and he's coming bang!
Straight through them, mate. Steam through them all.
Getting out. He was fearsome. But I love. I think that era. If you look from the 80s and the 90s, we had such a great era because you had all like Sugar Ray Leonard, you had Marvin Hagler, you had Tommy Hearns, and then you had Tyson, and then you had Lewis. Do you know what I mean? We were blessed with some great people. And Bruno,
definitely.
you know what I mean? He was
Bruno, he was all right.
He was so funny.
Yeah, he was.
We had him on here actually, and he was good.
Yeah, I've seen him on your
Good
podcast.
Good fun.
I used to see him down Hatton Garden quite a bit when he's old SEC 560 SEC Merc back in the day.
I think he's still got that.
Has he?
I'm pretty sure he drives around. Is it blue?
I think it was dark blue.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a car back in the day, wasn't it?
Yeah. But he was one of those guys that we all wanted him to win, and he would go in there, and I think at the time he'd always get there, and then like right at the last hurdle fall down. But then when he eventually won it, I was happy for him because
everyone was happy for him, he
deserved it.
The Brit won it,
Yeah.
I used to see Lennox lose quite a bit. A friend of mine used to have a restaurant in Barnet, and then Lewis lived around the corner in Hadleywood, and we used to see him all the time. Lewis, great boxer.
Yeah, I followed him around as well.
Yeah, great, nice guy. Really good guy, really good boxer. He's probably one of my favourites out there.
You've obviously done your bodybuilding stuff. You've obviously won your title, done your door work. You've obviously been fighting down the gym with all these sort of unlicensed fighters. When you look at the unlicensed fighters that you used to train with, obviously Lenny was, like you said, a ferocious opponent. But who else did you sort of train with that was really, like, you saw them, you thought they were good fighters?
Well, if you're looking at the class Lenny was in, there weren't anyone I can compare with him really. So, but the unlicensed fighters, I'll take my hat off to anyone who gets in the ring to do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I didn't do it at the time. I was all right financially, and I'd help people out. Like Mark Potter, we turned him pro back in the day.
Mark's great.
Yeah, Mark.
Shark. Yeah.
Shark. Yeah, we turned him pro, and Alan Mortlock then turned him with Charlie Smith pro. And I said to Mark, every time you win, there's a monkey for you.
Right.
And that's what I used to do. We used to do a bit of training together, a bit of sparring together back in the day. Lovely guy, Mark, and another one that's passed,
Yeah, rest in peace, Mark. Yeah. I've become friendly with him. I only met him in 2018,
lovely guy, good heart.
but I really liked him. And everyone used to say what a great fighter he was, But
and you never think it was a fight the way he conducted himself, would you?
No, because he's so polite. Yeah.
Very soft, very polite.
Yeah.
But I think they're the people that you got to worry about in this world, not the mouthy ones,
Hey, the ones that talk normally don't walk, yeah.
The quiet ones are the ones you got to watch. Yeah.
What is the saying? Walk quietly and carry a big stick.
Yeah, that's right.
Because was it last year he passed? Was it last year?
Might be 2 years now.
Wow.
Yeah, was at the funeral.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you go?
No. To be honest, I met him, become friendly with him for a mutual friend. He came to a few premieres and brought his missus along. But then I heard he was sick. I sent him a message and said, look, I'm sorry to hear you sick. I hope you recover, brother. And that was it. And then I already passed.
Yeah,
and,
Dominic Negus was very close with him, and I'm quite close with Dominic.
Dominic's a good mate.
Is he?
I like Dominic.
Yeah.
Dominic's a
We
good
have
guy.
breakfast every Sunday, me and Dom,
Wicked.
and someone else. And he said to me, like, I'd ring him up. I said, how's Mike? He said, it's not good. And I said, look, I wouldn't mind going down there tomorrow.
Right.
Because he stayed in his uncle's, had an outbuilding down Brentwood somewhere. And I said, look, I wouldn't mind going. I don't know where it is. I said, mate, I'll take you down. So we both went down there.
Right.
And he wasn't good, you know.
Right.
So he was sort of lying on the bed, and there was a window there. And what happened? I was chatting to him and holding his hand and that. I said, right, Mark. He was like, you know, doing all these things. He understood we was there, and I said, you okay? And, you know, and obviously he was in pain in that.
Right.
So I said, it was hurtful.
Seeing anybody in that state is bad.
Feeling it now. Yeah, so Dom's, I can see Dom was like, he's cracking up a bit, getting a bit of tissue. I said, Dom, grab a bit of tissue over there, mate.
Right.
You know. Well, I went to get some, I can't remember. He said, get me one as well, mate.
Right.
You know, he was in bits, really. And I was a little bit gutted as well, you know.
Right.
But then it was lying down, and then he was doing this sort of thing, trying to put his hand out the window as if someone was grabbing him.
Right.
Weird. You know?
Sometimes when people are going to go, they
see someone, like someone's coming to get them,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they're like reaching out for them.
someone who I know really well, who's very spiritual, he did say that when people are going to go, they do see lights and they do see
Yeah, they see
hands
images and
different
hands and things.
Yeah.
That's, I think Mark was trying to reach out for it, you know.
Right. Yeah, bloody hell.
Does
I mean,
happen. I could actually see him trying to reach, you know. He was trying to grab it, trying to move over there.
what was his? How many fights did he have in the end? Because he
You know, I can't remember
because
exactly.
he did
how many
turn pro, didn't he? As
He
well.
did, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Turned pro. He had quite a few fights.
Yeah.
And then he had problems with his sight. He's told not to box again, and he'd done a lot of, not amateurs, unlicensed fights, and you know, made a few quid from it.
Yeah.
But yeah, nice guy.
And what did you end up doing? You know, sort of after that, Mick. Did you get to a point where you sort of stopped doing the door and you just thought, actually, I'm going to go into business?
Well, I was in business in clubs, wasn't I, and bars.
Right.
So at the same time, I was selling cars. We had a car wash going and a refurb, alloy wheel refurb together,
Right, okay.
3 in 1. So I was from the clubs. I was having a couple of.
So really, when you become the British champion and you was doing the door work, you then become an entrepreneur because you was actually, you know, like you said, you was doing different businesses.
Yeah, I went up north and had a gym. Opened a gym in Widnes, a place called Widnes, just outside Liverpool. I met a girl and we was up there for, I don't know, a year or two.
Right.
And I moved back down to London. I just couldn't stand it. It was a ghost town up there.
Right.
And most weekends I was coming back to London.
They speak funny as well, don't they? They speak funny as well.
All right, mate. How you going? You know, they're lovely people.
Right, yeah.
Really, they are. They're better than Londoners, honestly.
I'll be honest with you.
They're
I've
so
always...
soft. They're so placid. They really are genuine people, some of them. I've got some friends up there, and they're great. I even know Kerry Hayes for many years. He's always in Ricky Hatton's corner.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back in the day, and he does a lot of corners now.
I've got to say, I've always found people, and I don't know why this is, but people in the north, they have this kind of warmth to them. You know, they do speak funny.
They
but
do.
They do have that
Yeah,
warmth
we
to
speak
them,
funny to them.
That's what I mean. So they probably say the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I quite like their accents. You've got Mancunian, you've got the Liverpudlian, you know.
Yeah.
Well,
They've always
twins.
got a good sense of humour, though. I think,
They have, they're good. And
the Scousers and the Manx have got the best sense of humour.
yeah. They're good people. Like I say, go up there, have a laugh at them. I went up there not too long ago and bought a motor from a couple of guys who do garage equipment.
Right.
Big up the garage equipment in Liverpool. And he said, mate, I know your face from somewhere, mate. You know, he's looking. I said, well, do you? I said, you into boxing? He goes, yeah. I was Tyson Fury's down. I was going to fight him. You know, I fucking know it. You know, they come out with that. They get a picture. You know, it was good. The crack was great.
Yeah.
No, they're good boys up there, and we had a good bit of fun. Funny enough.
And what do you do now, Mick? Did you? Because you still look in great shape.
Yeah, I train most days. I sell cars. That's my game. Car sales. Yeah, I love.
So if anybody wants to buy a car, where do they find you? Have you got an actual company you want to mention?
Yeah, we're Direct Autos London.
Direct Autos London.
Yeah,
Okay.
and we're on the internet and everything. And yeah, I just love wheeling and dealing. You know,
What do you specialise in, Mick? Do you specialise in a certain price range or any car?
Do you know, we do more bread and, when I say bread and butter thing, something up to 15, 20 grand.
Right.
There's more profits in the cheapies than the lumpy cars, unless you buy nick 'em for nothing.
Right.
So yeah, I just turn over small things and laying out small to get a decent profit rather than laying big, then having to reduce them because they're not selling. And then next month they think, come down a bit more, and then you're getting your money back.
Right.
You know, and that's how it is. It's lovely to have a big showroom with big motors and, but then they're sitting there, You either go big or you're at small end.
Right.
In between is hard work.
I suppose, like you said, doing that
Top
sort
end,
of
people got the
smaller
money.
end, everybody's
Bottom end, everyone can afford.
Yeah. Right,
Bit of credit card, bit of cash, whatever,
Right.
And it's easy flow.
And talking about crime films, have you got a top 5 crime films? What are your top 5 crime films?
Do you know what? I can't get my head around that one. Crime film.
Or have you got a gangster film that you?
Everyone loves Al Pacino, don't they? Scarface.
Yeah, I thought you was going to say Snatch.
Snatch.
But Scarface is the bollocks.
Yeah, I think it was a great movie.
Can you do a good Tony Montana impression or not?
Hey, you see that piece of shit up there? I never like him. For all I know, he had my friend Fernando killed. You want to go on? You want to talk? All I have is my balls and my mouth. Yeah.
I think you're a natural, Mick. Do you know something? That film must have been the most quoted. You know when you like.
Hey, you take it easy when you talk to me. Okay?
Say hello to my little friend.
Say hello to my little friend.
I don't like Colombians, man. Look at their eyes. I loved it. The best scene for me is when they got that fella in the shower and they hang him up.
Yeah, that was.
Saw around him.
Yeah,
like,
nice.
Fucking hell.
Chainsaw.
Because you've never seen
that
violence like that.
No, you haven't, have you? And the year it came out as well,
Was it 78?
Something like that, and it was like that was a bit brutal for that year, wasn't it? When you think about it, but it was good because it put a big thing into the movie, didn't it? It made it.
I'll tell you what though, he has got the best line though, Al Pacino, when the guy does his mate with the chainsaw.
Fuck.
And then and he goes, you're going to tell us where the drugs are? And he goes, why don't you put your head up your ass?
Yeah.
But it's so funny.
And he spat at him, didn't he?
Yeah, just brilliant.
Yeah.
I mean, whoever wrote that script, I don't know when like whenever I read a script, there's bits in it where you go, that is going to be people are going to be quoting that, you know what I mean? But with that film, it was sort of like so much of it was quotable. And I hadn't seen it. So when I was 17, 18 years of age, someone said to me, I think I'd watched a gangster film. Yeah, it was just a normal gang. And I said, oh, that was really good.
Yeah.
I said, have you seen Scarface? And I was like,
what?
No, what's that?
Yeah, what's that?
Get it.
Yeah.
And that was it. You know what I mean? I was in after that, it was then Goodfellas, then it was Casino, then it was, it was just.
But that was the one.
And what do you think now, Mick? I mean, obviously we're in a bit of a mad time, haven't we? We've kind of got all these mad things happening in the UK. If someone was actually saying to me the other day, they felt that the crime in the UK was sort of spiraling out of control. I mean, what do you think? I mean, do you think there's a simple way of getting it sort of under control?
It's all the youngsters, really, isn't it? We're talking about the machete boys, we call them, coming out with machetes, postcodes, you're in a different postcode, we're going to stab you up, yeah? I mean, I've said it before. I said I think they should bring back the law, sticking people straight in the army, at 16. That's the age they need to go in. They need to learn, Like,
do you think that they should do it for offenders, or do you think they should just do it?
Everyone.
Right.
Everyone should do it. National service, bang, get them out there, discipline them, work them, and that would change them.
Because it does feel that is one thing that I feel like when I grew up, and I'm sure same as you, Mick, you was brought up with discipline, and if you fucked about, there was consequences. Now it seems that there aren't any consequences, and people.
Well, if you get caught, there are. But I know what you're saying. But how can you pull a knife out or a machete out because you're in a different postcode?
Doesn't make any sense.
How much has he earned out of that? How much is he going to get for doing it if he gets caught?
He might get 30 years if he kills someone.
There you go. Yeah.
It's
Well, he
mad.
will. He will kill someone.
Mad.
And he'll only learn when he's in that cell on his own and thinking, what the fuck have I done?
We had a guy on here the other day called George Shipton, who was quite a well-known prison screw, and he worked in Belmarsh, and he's been in that system. And I asked him, you know, off camera, I said, you know,
What they're like in there.
and he actually said that, you know, the problem is a lot of the younger ones are doing it because they feel like it's giving them a rep. So it's like they want to be famous. Like, so rather than becoming famous, Insta famous, or
They do it that
in a
way.
movie, they do it so they can become gangster famous. But but he said they are in jail and they are walking around like they're
the
happy
men.
to be
They're
there,
the men.
which is mad.
Yeah. Well, they've
It's
got
crazy.
no fucking brains, have they, to say that?
Yeah. Did you ever get nicked, Mick, in your sort of
Yeah. Well, you're going to laugh when I tell you I got nicked for. I went away for 3 months DC back in the day
right?
for driving whilst disqualified 3 times. I'm in there with fucking rapists. I'm in there with fucking robberies. Everyone's in there, you know.
Everyone's like going, "Oh, he looks really serious. I bet he's really hurt someone." And you're like, "Yeah, driving while disqualified."
Yeah, you know what I mean? You know, I just love driving, and like I was getting nicked all the time.
Right.
Yeah. I think I went away again after for 6 months for handing stolen goods.
Right.
That was it.
Yeah.
I've had a few shaves from the, you know, getting banged up again. On the door, obviously, hitting someone, they want to take you to court. Lucky for me, the guy was serving time for handbag snatching, so I got off that one.
Right. What a thing to do, though. I mean, you know, it's just mad, isn't it?
Crazy. Yeah.
You think people's handbags.
Yeah, I mean, we went to court, and my barrister said, "Is it right you're serving a sentence, custodial sentence for handbag snatching? What's that got to do with this court?" The judge went, "Case dismissed."
Right.
You know what I mean?
But
And he's trying to do me for hitting him, or ABH for GBH.
But did you ever? I mean, with like every time, you know, anything ever happened to any clubs I was either at or running, there was always like the doorman would. I mean, what are they supposed to do? I mean, you know, if somebody,
What we're there for? We're there to stop the trouble.
yeah, if someone starts
And then
kicking
what? Someone
off,
wants to nick you.
it's mad.
Yeah, of course it's bad. That's why they brought out this CIA business. You know,
What do you think of that? Because
SIA, sorry,
yeah, because
CIA, SIA.
yeah, because when that come in, someone said to me, "Oh, yeah, what do you think of it?" And I said, "I think it's the worst idea ever."
Of course.
Because, you know, you need people that are a bit spicy on the door. You can't just
Yeah,
have...
you don't want names on badges and things, you know. Oh, his name was Fred Smith or something, you know what I mean? Yeah, back in the day, doormen never had that, didn't they? And they used to do it, if it was an issue, just leave the door, come back another time, give it a month off, come back, you know.
So you might have a fight. And if you... I mean, is there a time, Mick, where you're going to go, it's within the next year, 2 years, or do you...
Well, I gave him a time, what was it, a year ago, I think, last year, up until July, 2 years ago, July, we're going to promote it to July if you don't fucking, you know. But, yeah, there might be a surprise coming up in the near future.
Right, okay.
Hopefully.
We'll all keep our eyes and ears peeled for that.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens. It's still there. Something I just wanted to complete in my life, you know. Yeah. Bucket list, we call it.
Yeah. What else is on your
list.
bucket list, Mick? You got anything else you want to do?
Yeah, I've done most things, to be honest. I've never thought about other things I want to do. If I want to do something, I'll try and do it, you know.
Right.
Get it done. But you can only want to do something if the other person wants to, you know, get in and do it.
Right.
But I'm sure I can get it made.
Yeah.
I'll try.
Yeah.
I've got some tricks up my sleeve.
So it's John Fury or Carlton Leach, so one of the two. So you'll get one of them hopefully by Christmas.
You had to get a Carlton Leach in, didn't you?
Well, no, because you sounded quite annoyed about it earlier.
I don't think he's in the boxing, is he? I think he's done a few
He
fights.
fought Tony Denham, didn't he? He had
Did
a boxing fight with him. I think I can't remember what it was.
I don't know, it was Tony Denham. I don't think I know.
I think he was in another doorman. He does sort of security and stuff, but
okay.
yeah, I think he's from Dartford, sort of around that way. And obviously, did you ever bump into Dave Courtney? Was you ever sort of
Back in the day, yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, was you sort of shocked to hear when obviously, you know, when
Well, I've seen it on social media, yeah, because he plastered it everywhere, didn't he, before he done it.
right,
Listen, you need balls to do what you done, you know. I mean, to actually get it on social media, don't worry, I'm okay. No, this is going to happen, blah, blah. You know, just had enough. I can't walk down the stairs, do this. I mean, to get that out there and do one yourself.
Well, he wanted to go out with, I mean, he always liked publicity. And
yeah, he got proper publicity
I think
for that, didn't
he went
he?
out with a bang, you know, like that's probably how he wanted it, you know, so.
I don't know, he was so relaxed when he was talking about it as well, wasn't he?
I mean,
I think he was a little bit, had a few drinks when he was talking about it and doing it. I don't think he'd just do it like that.
I was actually quite shocked because I would never, he was always a bit of a joker and a bit of a laugh. And I wouldn't have put him down as somebody would have done that. I thought
you never know these people. You don't know who's who, you know, when it comes to that, do you?
Yeah.
I've got a friend of mine, you'd never, ever, ever in a million years think he'd take his life, and he did.
Wow.
You know, very well to do, no war in the world. He just woke up one day, he had like pins and needles all over his body.
Right.
He went to the best, you know, to the best consultants for whatever to check up the whole body.
Right.
And the last thing, he everything was clear, crystal clear.
Right.
And the last one was a brain scan. And I didn't hear from him after that. He just took his life.
Okay, now.
But someone that had everything in their life, lovely family, kids, parents left a load of property, income coming in every month, not worrying the world basically. And there's people out there would love to still be here, and you know, and get themselves back and live through it. What he didn't want to do was to be left in a wheelchair because his dad had a bit of Parkinson, his brother was that way, and he believed that he was going to go that way. And he was one that didn't like sitting around. He'd always be travelling different parts of the area or like of the UK in gyms. He'd go down Margate on his own, sit there, have a coffee on his own, train down there, train here. He loved his training. He weren't really a bodybuilder, but he loved training. Right. And a very nice guy and a great friend of mine, you know.
Yeah. I'm sorry to hear that.
To do that maybe 4 years ago now, 3-4 years ago. And the Undertaker rang me up. He says, we lost Stevie. I said, what? No way. I said to him, this is someone that's all switched on, you know what I mean? Bells and whistles. Right. You know, he's a proper gambler, you know, casinos and card player, amazing card player, played all over the world. All there, you know. And yeah, that was it. And just shocked the people who knew, you know. But that's life. You don't know what's in someone's mind, do you?
Yeah. And on a lighter note, Mick, you must have some funny stories. From either from the door or with Lenny, you've got to have some funny stories that you can share.
Yeah, obviously we've seen so much over the years. Right. But,
there must be something crazy you've seen.
I think it's funny John Fury ain't fighting me.
That's a good one. You come back with something good then, Mick. I like that.
Then it was Joe Egan.
Joe Egan wants to fight everyone though. Would you fight
Lenny? He wanted to fight Lenny. He wanted to fight John, didn't he?
Right.
And he keeps slagging John off and saying, yeah, you're this, you're that, you're no good, blah, blah, blah. So I said to Joe, I'll fight you, mate, you know, and put it out there. And, you know, I said, then the winner out of me and you can fight John if he wants to fight. Well, let's three of us get together.
Right.
Like a little
last man standing.
Yeah, last man standing, you know. Joe keeps saying there's no money fighting me. Mick, there's no money fighting you. He'd ring me up, you know. Why are you calling me a chicken on the phone?
Joe's funny.
It's disrespectful to call somebody chicken. You're calling John Fury a chicken now. That's all right, though, isn't it?
I met Joe.
He's a lovely guy, Joe.
We did a movie together.
There's no menace in Joe.
He's a nice guy.
You know, he's a lovely guy, a lovely man.
Yeah.
He's great. Even when he comes across and talks to you.
Yeah.
Now, don't be calling me a chicken. It's disrespectful. Come on, Mick. You know that. You know.
And I wind him up. I go, Joe, I was talking to Mick Theo earlier. He kept calling you chicken. He kept calling you chicken, Joe.
He's got my number. Anything, he just rings me up. And now I ring him up. I said, look, this geezer's off you out. He's 50K on the table. Fight him. You've got no money. You fight him.
Right.
You know? Don't wait fighting him. Gypsy Joe, Gypsy Jerry, I forgot his name, Gypsy something, wanted to fight him.
Right.
And he was an ex-pro. I mean, and he's calling out Joe, 50K on the table.
Wow.
And, you know, there's something there on the table for him.
Evening's work, innit? I mean,
yeah. Well, it's good evening's work, isn't it?
I don't mind having a scrap with someone for 50 grand.
Yeah. I mean, you know, that's how it is at the moment. So, but he's waiting for Misfits to put something on bigger for him.
Right.
You know, take the little ones, they're better.
I mean, that Misfits thing, I suppose that's the golden goose, isn't it? If you're on that, I mean, that's the...
Listen, if you're good numbers on social media, you're getting there, wouldn't you? You know? Then he's telling me about Eddie Abu.
Right.
You know, the one, don't eat this shit, it's fucking no good for you, you know? He's there on social media.
No, what's that?
Eddie Abu, he won the NABA British, I think, back in the day.
Right.
That guy talks about nutrition and what you shouldn't eat, what you should do.
Right.
And he said, Eddie Abu's looking for a fight. So I went up to his gym up in High Wycombe somewhere.
Right.
And he was doing I didn't know he was doing podcasts all day. So he come out, he said, Mr. Mick, how you doing? I said, Eddie, I was speaking to Joe Egan. I said, he told me that you want to fight on a Misfits or something. I said, I'll fight you. He said, no, I'm not a fighter. And then I said, Joe, he said he didn't want to fight. No, he wants to fight. I said, well, he didn't want to fight, you know what I mean?
Right. Maybe he just doesn't want to fight you, Mick.
Huh?
Maybe he doesn't want to fight you.
I don't know, you know. He said, what you should do is sit down and tell him, look, we'll go in there, we'll move about, we'll take it easy, you know, and all this business, you know. You're going to fight, and win or lose, you know. You have a little brawl, and that's it. The thing is, I've done it for years on the doors, so what's the difference?
Yeah.
You know, you're going to get paid this time.
And you wear a head guard and you wear gloves, so it's probably not so bad.
Not on these nights, you don't know.
Oh, do you not wear a head guard on them?
Right,
okay.
10-ounce gloves, and that's it.
Right, okay.
You know, but Don Fury wanted a bare knuckle fight, didn't it? I won't do you in the ring, I'll do you out the ring. All this bollocks.
But bare knuckle's probably better for you, though, isn't it?
That's what we've done all our life, isn't it? Bare knuckle. When you think about it, we don't put gloves on. I'll put me fucking 10-ounce gloves on and we have a fight. We should steam in anyway with your hands, ain't you? Right. You know, that's how it is. So yeah, bare knuckle, that's all we've done for years, isn't it? When you think about it.
Yeah.
So yeah, but getting hit with a knuckle rather than a glove is more damage, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know?
I think the glove just gives you a little
like
bit.
This BB, whatever it's called, you know, bare knuckle fight.
Is it BK?
BKB or something?
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah,
you know, Dominic's fighting now. He's doing that. He's got a fight coming up. I mean, you know, you can see some people's heads and split open and lumps and bumps, and you know.
Have you actually been to one of those fights?
They don't interest me too much.
Right, okay. I've never been. I've always wanted to go.
I watch it on telly, but I'm not madly. I've seen it on telly, obviously, a few times, but it's not a thing I'm mad about to go and watch.
Right.
It's a fight, isn't it? At the end of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is what it is, you know.
Brilliant.
I think if someone wants to have a fight, do it safely, do it properly, and you know, like professionals do. Pair of gloves on, 10 ounces, and just go in there, no head guards, and best man wins.
Yeah.
You know, you got your paramedics there and everything, and it's all done properly. You know, not just somewhere in a fucking barn and fucking I'll have you know, fucking all these roads turning up. You know what I mean?
Right. The old sawdust on the floor.
Yeah, you know, barns, fucking haystacks and things like that.
Right.
I mean, I enjoy watching things like that because they find it funny.
Right.
You know, they're there just turn up for a fight, you know.
Yeah.
And yeah, it takes balls to do that, you know. It's not it's just not easy to get in and do that unless you're a fighter. You know, you don't care.
Yeah.
But everyone does. They've got the adrenaline going and the rush going and, you know, the butterflies going in. But you need that to give you the speed and the power, and that's what drives you to do it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, the buzz. It's like people used to go do robberies for that adrenaline rush.
Yeah.
They say, you know, it's the rush they get.
Yeah, we've had a couple of arm robbers on here actually, and they've talked about.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's what they get a big rush from it, don't they?
I don't know if I want to do that though. I think getting nicked,
isn't it? Yeah.
Done a job for 20 years.
Yeah, it's like getting the money, but fuck, you don't get the money, you get nicked or you get shot.
Yeah.
It was the robbery back in the day.
It was flying squad, wasn't it? They used to come.
They fucking shoot you now. It was you're getting shot on the job, mate, and that's it. Because when you go in, you come back out, you're doing it again.
Right.
And I used to work with a guy that was one back in the day, a good friend of the old man's. And that's what he used to do.
Right.
In and out, and Nick come back up, boom. And the last job he went out with 2 other QCs, they got shot. He got shot and clipped his ear. Got shot a few places. He didn't die though. Yeah, I went to see him in hospital and everything. But I used to work for him when I was a kid, you know what I mean, 14, 15. And my old man it was a barber. He had a shop opposite his stall, flower stall, and he used to be on the phone constantly, you know, talking what he was going to do and all that. And they just lining the jobs up, you know what I mean? Proper old school fucking robbers, you know what I mean? Yeah. But nowadays everything's changed, isn't it?
Yeah, but
there's no money around anymore, is there?
Well, I think they've worked out how to stop people doing it now. So
yeah, kill them.
I think, kill them or get on CCTV.
They will shoot to kill now, and that's it. They, you know, we're gonna get rid of these bank robbers. They haven't too many times, you know. What about the safes people pulling up the JCB, fucking pulling out the walls? You
that's
don't
mad
really
as
see
well.
that anymore, do you? You don't hear that anymore, really.
I mean, it kind of goes in spades, doesn't it? There was the armed robberies on the post offices. Then there was the security vans. Then there was the pulling the things out the walls.
That's right.
But I think now a lot of the things that are being committed are people pretending to be your bank, or they're getting people to transfer money to an account or to an account that you think's your account. And, I think that seems to be the big thing, or defrauding the state by, whatever they do. I think there was all that VAT fraud.
Yeah.
That was a big thing, wasn't it? 10 years ago.
Yeah.
There seems to be, I think it goes in waves, but I think the cyber stuff now is probably the biggest thing, because they're
probably.
Especially with the AI, because they can clone your voice now.
Yeah. Everything's just got tighter in it.
So you'll be getting someone ringing you up going, I'm definitely going to have to fight with you, John. I'm definitely going to fight with you. You're going, no, it's Mick. No, I'm going to have to fight with you. And it'll be AI, do you know what I mean? I'm going to you on the wind-up.
Yeah, you don't know, do you?
But Mick, I've really enjoyed you coming on today, mate.
Yeah, me too. Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us and sharing your story. I'm excited to see whether one of these fights comes off. I'm sure if you keep going, it will.
Yeah, we'll see. Like I say, we've got a few things in the pipeline. Hopefully, if they do, they do. Yeah. Hopefully they do. Yeah. And then we'll have another podcast to talk about it.
You'll have to call some. You'll be calling someone else that then, I think. But it's took a while, wasn't it? How long is it? Is it 3 years or 4 years?
2019 when the pandemic started.
5 years.
Yeah. Well, he said that he was the best 54-year-old on the planet.
Right.
He was getting interviewed by one of the guys, Kuhn Cassius.
Right.
And he said that if Tyson comes over to the MMA, he's going to get smashed.
Right.
He said, what do you mean? Who's going to smash who? And then he had to repeat himself what the guy who's in charge of the MMA fighting.
Not Dana White.
Dana White.
Right.
Dana White says, if Tyson comes over to the MMA, he's going to get smashed. What do you know about smashing? Put me in with him, because I believe I'm the best 54-year-old of them. That's how it all started.
Right.
So I thought, fucking ain't fit than me. And you know what? He's 6 months younger than me, John. You'd think he was older, wouldn't you, really?
Right.
So I thought, he ain't no fitter than me. I train every day. So I thought, I was running everywhere. I even spoke to Scott Welsh. I said, Scott, I want to get this fight on. He goes, I can't. I'm involved in this and I'm involved in that. I can't. What about Eddie Hearn? I went to my guy who's got the gym at the moment, runs a gym, the KO gym. And I said, you want to fight him? Is she fucking mad? I said, no, I want to fight him. Who does he think he is? Blah, 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 blah. I was like, I'm fucking revving up for it.
Right.
But it was like there was a guy, Darren Thompson, that was over here. He was a top heavyweight. He won all these titles. And I was in the Miller and Carter one day, and he was with a friend of mine's. They were very close, and they were training together. Darren Thompson, Turkish Tavern, he's the champion. He's a big lump. I mean, he's 6'5", chatted up, skinny, looks really menacing.
Right.
I've seen a few of his fights, KO was putting one on, and I went to one there with a friend of mine. And so he's giving it fucking come out of this restaurant. He said, Tony, his mate, come up to me. He said, right, Mick, how you doing? I said, yeah. This is Darren. I said, yeah, I see your fights, mate. Yeah, blah, blah. Right. Yeah, I'm this champion, that champion. But what are you talking about, this geezer? A license don't mean nothing. Right. He's gone to his head. He's this champion, that champion, everything. He's going to fighting for the world champion. So I rang up Alan Morlott, his main guy. I said, I want to fight him. Put the fight on. He said, you really want it? I said, yeah, I want it with him. Do you know Alan Morlott? He does all of...
I don't know him, but I know who he is.
Yeah, he does all these, obviously, unlicensed fights and that. Lovely guy, Al.
Yeah.
Really is. He says, yeah, you really want it? I said, yeah, I want it.
Right.
So I rang up my people, a friend of mine in Ireland, in Marbella, back in the day. I said, got a fight coming up. He goes, let me know, I'll come over. So I said, no, I'm coming over to you tomorrow. He said, come over, we'll get you some sparring.
Right.
So... And Tyson was training in the same gym at the time in Marbella. Right. And Billy Joe Saunders.
That's good gym, that is. The NCK one.
That's it.
Yeah.
Well, I know the people down there anyway, because I trained down there when I go down there.
Right.
So I met the guy down there, who I'm not mentioning no names, as you know. And he says, who are you fighting? I said, some tall guy, really tall. He said, come in tomorrow, I'll have some sparring for you.
Right.
So I came in the next morning. he said, get warmed up. We'll have a little move around together, me and the fella who owns the place. So the guy turned up. He's a 6'4". So anyway, here we go. Ding, ding, round one. He's just trying to knock me out. Bang, 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 bang. I've gone crack to the body, down. And the other fella's going, get up, you fucker. Come on. 1, 2, get up, you fucking. Didn't get up. Broke his ribs.
Right.
So he's probably told Tyson. Tyson's probably told the old man, John,
Right.
that he was in here sparring with some geezer to put him down. Big lump. So I think that's how he's probably thought. Because he'd only want to go and fight someone that he knew he'd win. That's what John's all about.
Right.
That's why I think Way's staying away from me.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, I think if you see somebody or hear somebody's done that, then yeah, you sort of think, well, actually, I don't know if I want to get.
I don't care at all. Your ribs again. You know what I mean? And you know, I've done it. I've done it quite a few times.
Right.
Sometimes accidentally catching them on the ribs.
Right.
You know, because I'm great on body shots. You know, so. Listen, it is what it is. He's a big lump, John. You know, he's 6'4". He's heavy. Yeah. But listen, I'll have to fucking run around him. Beep, beep. You know, it's a big challenge. He's an ex-pro. I'm a nobody. Right. You know? I haven't had one white collar, as you call it. Right. You know, but like I say, I've trained with all of them. Right. You know, in the ring and hold my own. Right. You know, I'm not saying I'm the best fighter out there or best. You know, I enjoy it and I do it. And he's saying he's the best. I said, well, I'll fight you. I'll challenge you. Right. You know, I'm challenging some. Well, it's probably more unfair on my side because he's an ex-pro. Right. He was in there back in the day with Henry Akawanda, who was a good fighter.
Yeah, he was, wasn't he?
You know?
Yeah.
Can't knock him for that. And he done all right against him. Tried, but, you see him getting knocked out then. The guy that he took his eyes at, he knocked him out twice. He put him down twice. Right. And he wasn't even a proper boxer. And he rang me up to tell me that. You know, this traveller's ringing me up. Said, what do you fucking want, mate? No, thanks for ringing me, mate. You know, I'm the guy that John put his eyes down, me put his fingers in my eyes and all this business. And, you know, I just thought I'd tell you, I met him at the auctions. He come at me. I punched him. I caught him in the jaw. He went down and I should have jumped on him, Mick, but I didn't, you know, and all this business. And he said, got back up. I'll give it to him again. He went down again. And just to let you know, if you catch him on the jaw, he said to me, I said, oh, thanks for that, mate. Yeah. And I think to myself, if then his jaw ain't that good, now what he's like, you know? Right. So even he gets caught in the jaw, he's going, I believe, anyway. Yeah. If not, just jump up and nothing. Yeah.
Well, Mick, thank you so much.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure.
See you, mate, and really appreciate your time. Thank you so much for tuning into the Criminal Connection podcast. Mick Theo, what a great guest. Make sure you tune into the Criminal Connection podcast next week because we've got another fantastic guest, and I will see you on the other side.